this book it's largely dedicated to my nieces and nephews. My oldest niece at the time, she was 7. She'll be 12 this summer.
Oh, wow.
I had a conversation with her and her brother regarding why Aunt Sam lives in a facility for people with disabilities versus like with my dad. And they just kind of wanted to know about that. And it got me thinking, not everyone has an Aunt Sam. Not everyone has someone who will sit down and be like, this is what it is. This is what it's not. All right, move on. The book itself, the first book, covers my birth and that I was born severely premature. I was born around 23 weeks, which is technically before you're viable for life outside the womb. I have an older brother, so my parents kind of knew what to look out for as far as like baby milestones. And when I didn't hit those, they were like, okay, something's up. Moral of the story being is I have cerebral palsy. I don't like to use functioning labels, but they would consider myself to be high functioning. I would personally say I just have lower support needs. I don't need as much help as some of my peers who have the disability. So then the book goes into schooling and my journey towards my first wheelchair because up until I was 5, I didn't use a wheelchair. I was in a stroller. I was just pushed and carried places. I weighed 20 pounds. I didn't really have a need for a wheelchair. I could be carried wherever. I was the size of an infant. Um, so then I met one of my aunt's friends who was a paraplegic, and he had a sit down discussion with my mom and said, why do you want her to only be where you put her? Imagine if someone sat you in a corner and left you there. How do you feel?
Mm.
And that's how we started the paperwork to get my first wheelchair. The first book goes into that journey and my journey of mainstream education. That was also a fight because the school district I went to, Chatham School District, at the time, they wanted to put me in special ed. I'm not mentally disabled,
Mm.
in case you didn't notice.
Oh,
It's pure
absolutely. No, I hear you.
it's purely physical. So I went through a lot of rigorous testing as a 4-year-old to be put into mainstream kindergarten and did my 12 years. And obviously I'm a college student.